July 13th to the agenda. We'll do that when we do the other minutes, I guess. Water department thing.
Okay. Well, first thing I had on my list, I just wanted, if anybody drives by the water tank, just take a look up and see where the job marked is. We got Portland Day and cut all the brush and stuff on the bank there. It's logged.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't blame me.
Looked like you were gonna by. We read meters successfully.
No way.
Good, yeah. The only issue that we have, I wanted to talk a little bit about the application for water service. So far this summer, we've had 2 incidents. One, I got a call the minute the contractors were there, I already had it dug up, they were doing a connection. No prior notice or anything, and they didn't even have an application. They never even applied for service or anything. I don't know if they have yet. I know I've talked to them 3 times.
Which one?
The one in,
Metal in theirs?
yeah, and well, not Gary, but the old Gary one.
No.
Mix.
The
So,
one next building, no.
Yeah, so that's 3 times I've talked to him, and he hasn't
You did
even
get
applied
Karen,
for
so
service.
Karen.
Okay, and that was the other one.
Yeah.
Where never even got any notice at all, I just happened to be driving through there, and there was a foundation, and there was an excavation that had been buried, and they'd already connected to the town water and never applied for service, never talked to anybody, nothing, so. I don't know, I didn't know, yeah, I know, cause I can't even see
Too
it.
willy-nilly.
Cause he had taken pictures of it, thank goodness, so I didn't have to dig it back up so I could see the
Oh,
connection,
yeah.
so that worked out. I didn't know if it's possible to, I don't know what questions are on like a building permit, but when somebody applies for a building permit, I don't know if it asks what they're gonna have for water or sewer.
It does.
And they could, maybe in the updated one, have an actual spot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a possibility.
If they say they're getting on town water and sewer, I don't know if it's possible to make that a prerequisite, that they have to come with their approved application for service in order to get their building permit, or
Yes.
something like
You would
that.
think,
Why
because
not?
if they can't, you can't get the water service,
Yeah.
they can't just, oh, we did what we did.
I think they,
Because it's on there, but there's no, it's just asked what, you know, what the water and sewer is.
Could I ask a clarifying question so I understand what he's saying? We have people that are able to just hook up onto the water line in the town of Troy without you knowing about it unless somebody catches it to new projects?
Well, that's the issue we're discussing.
yeah.
And that's what he was saying. I didn't quite understand. And if we could speak up, I am hearing impaired, and with the air conditioning, it's really hard to hear you. I'm sorry. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, so we'll do that, because we are redoing the bylaws, and we can redo that, and we can make it a part of the process.
That would be great, I think that would really.
Yep, if they check municipal, then it has to be that.
Right. We need that. So, the application that we had, that's, for it currently was, for some reason, it's for water and wastewater, which is 2 separate things, so it doesn't, so I'm gonna work on it and just mince it down to just water.
Yep.
And try to make it a little more clear on there as well, maybe in bolder print, that when they sign that they have to get a hold of us before they start doing this. But in these incidents, it never even got to this point, so.
And you should probably, right at the top, you have to apply for permission to do it, and you need a town representative there to.
Yeah, and there actually is,
There is
that isn't a conditions, but
Okay.
they never even did this part, so. That's what got us, they skipped right by everything, and just did it.
Then they go, I didn't know.
In both of their defense, it was, these are, planned developments that, you know, there's already curb stops there at the roadside and everything, so I think that in both instances, I think that they just assumed.
Some of them are gonna think
The
it's
allocation is there,
Yeah,
yeah.
so,
Yeah, of course.
but it's kind of frustrating finding out after the fact. That's all I had.
So we'll have to, you've already mentioned the one guy 3 times, right?
Yeah, and I don't think,
Do you want me to mail
I
an
think it's just-
application just so he's got it?
sure,
Yeah.
that'd be good. I think that's the case. One person thinks the other one's doing it, and the other one thinks that that person did it, so.
And the other person, after that, I'm gonna get them one.
Yeah, I was gonna
They
say, 'cause
did.
they've done it.
Right, didn't they?
Did they take it? You're talking Bob?
Oh, the next one.
The next one,
Yeah.
he did his zoning permit, but I don't know if he took one. You know what, I can call him. I'll call him and
It's
just ask him.
the same contractor that did one of these is
Is-
going to be doing that.
That's
He's
right.
aware of it now, and he has my contact information, so I should.
Okay.
Was there another one that went up over on Autumn Ridge?
Let's see what he's talking about.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's the one right next to Raymond's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one I just drove through and was like, huh, I guess they're gonna connect the town water.
So that other one would be to Nick, right? Directly to Nick.
Yeah.
He's the one building it, so.
But that was from the curb stop in.
Yes, yeah, they didn't actually dig up the water main or anything, there's a curb stop there.
That's
Yes,
a
absolutely.
little bit.
And like I said, the one that was buried, one that's already been buried, he took pictures of it, which was great. He used good materials and that was, it's just.
Funny.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Steve.
Have a good night.
And we'll just go over that, it's on here.
Nick was gonna ask, and he didn't know if he'd get here or not, about taking up the road, if we're any better, now you have a skirt. That's what he's gonna come for. You wanna wait for him for next meeting?
Yep.
Give me, all right.
John,
Dr.
Okey
Bob,
dokey.
Dr. Bob.
Okey dokey. Just wanted to let everybody know that as of this afternoon, all of our excavation work from our FEMA projects has been completed. For last year, they're in the process of setting up the crusher at the Stars Pit. So as soon as they start making gravel, which they're expecting by midday tomorrow, we can, once they have a stockpile up, we can start doing all these spots. And I would dare say within a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, we'll meet our August deadline. We'll meet our August
Good,
deadline.
because he's
for-
calling Thursday, so
Yeah.
that's good, I'll let him know.
So that, I don't know, I'm assuming you guys know if we could meet this deadline, then we wouldn't have to have any site visit. I think. So, like I said, get all the excavation done, we can top everything with gravel where we need to, and take pictures, and then it's just a matter of Terry and I sit down and filling out the spreadsheet that's like this long, this wide.
Spreading it out.
Yeah. Once we get that done, we should be complete.
Yep.
I just have a few more GPS coordinates that I have to get.
Yeah, you saw that email.
Yes, I did, yeah, I have to get those, but other than that, everything's going good. I was happy with, how we were gonna get our, quick we were gonna get our ditching done, so that worked out good. That's what we've been doing, that's what we're working on right now.
How do we turn it out?
He's, I believe, wants to start Monday, is his day.
So we did.
Yep, yep. Yep.
Good.
That's all I got on my end for right now.
Good.
I sent you an email today.
I just barely got that one
Yeah,
too, yeah.
and that guy used to do the workman's comp, not workman's comp, unemployment audit.
Okay.
Every year, nice guy.
Okay.
He says, I just want to come in and familiarize myself with the buildings, and so he's gonna start here at 11, VLCT, the loss control specialist. It's a new
Yeah.
guy, and he just wants to, he's not really doing an audit or anything.
Oh,
you
he's
know,
not?
Of the building, I'm not so sure he is. He just wants to familiarize himself
Okay.
with the buildings that he's dealing with. He may,
Okay.
you know, he may. He didn't say he isn't, but it really sounded more like he's just going to all the towns in his area and getting to know the buildings, but I may be wrong,
And what is this for, Terry? Who is this
It's
person?
a VLCT, our insurance guy, the guy that used to come around yearly and check the buildings for safety and that kind of stuff.
It's like a bond inspection agent?
So now it's a new guy, he's just coming through to see the buildings.
Okay.
What's that
They're
here?
mowing all done, or?
They're working on the tractor, he broke a piece of his tractor, he had to order it, but no, they got some roads done, and
Yes.
they're gonna go back around and double check everything, and he just wants to make sure that you guys are happy and townspeople are happy, so. No, it's a work in progress, so.
And those sickle barn mowers and that stuff.
Yeah, well, that's
That's
just,
it.
you know,
Was that what he's using?
yeah. It works good,
It works
it
good,
works
yeah.
excellent, just,
Well, he's been down, I've seen where he's been.
yeah, you just gotta constantly,
Yeah.
uh,
We did it when we were in schools. Over John Deere.
Yeah.
Long old weeds.
like I said, that's all I got, you guys are, for now.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Take care, I'll stop in tomorrow,
Okay,
and we'll talk about that billing.
all right.
Take care, Bobby. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
I might have various years here, so you can actually look up.
He's come from when we
He says, we gotta fix the ones we got. We're not.
State should start doing that too.
That's what Shane, I talked to Shane Warren this morning.
Yep.
I said, so how you getting along with government? He says, good. How we get reelected the easy one? He says, yeah, probably will, but he says, he needs to be somebody somewhere in the top of the highway department. One or two of the presidents, and just walk around. Or Shane's young and he's not old enough, he wants to get a job, well, he wants a job. But so he said, he really needs somebody.
This is does not include Autumn Ridge. It's an extra. This is what it was prior to Autumn Ridge, and that's with Autumn Ridge, so you don't have Autumn Ridge in this one. I can make a photocopy if you prefer, or unless you wanna go with this one.
Oh, okay.
Do you have more than
I don't have more than one ever, but
You can make
what I'm
sure.
saying is, this is a 2015 that doesn't include
Public
not
comment
Autumn
for the
Ridge. Yeah,
difference.
Autumn Ridge.
Where are we at now?
Yeah, right.
So I
Supposed to be
will,
right
I will
here.
make this for you.
Okay.
I'll make it,
He's
because
looking
this
for a
will
road
include
map
Autumn Ridge. I'll give
The
you-
town that he wants to
I
review
was
or
gonna say, you can have
something.
the original.
Actually, you can have that.
You can have this
Take that
Oh, I
one,
can't?
Yeah.
but it doesn't have Autumn Ridge.
I didn't
on it.
wanna take your,
No, no, no.
He's got
That-
one. I
yeah.
got one too.
Yeah, so
I'll
that
give
doesn't have Autumn Ridge,
I'll
but
give
it's
back.
got everything
I don't
else.
got one.
You lose it.
well, if you
Right.
all our road for us, we might just.
Yeah. Make sure he includes Autumn Ridge, yeah.
I'm gonna tell him, you guys said if you wanna pave all the road, you can have it.
Have all the paper you want.
Okay.
Okay, so in the back of your thing, is your list.
What are you reviewing right now, Terry? I'm sorry.
Delinquent taxes to what is gonna go.
So you're on
tax. Can I
item
make you a copy of
6?
that?
Yeah, if you could, please, I'd appreciate it. You don't have to do it now, I'll get it after the meeting. I don't want to disrupt it. And this is item 6.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie.
So on the front is taxes, obviously, and the back is water, and sewer department. If you wanna just, there's nobody in the water and sewer that are in tax sale for taxes. And if you look at the sewer, the water and sewer delinquencies, we can't do anything after 12/31/19 per recommendation of Bill Davies because of COVID. So if you look at what I've written under the 12/31/19, that's actually the amount of the delinquencies on those particular accounts as of December 31st. And that's the only, you couldn't put it all in for what it is now. You can only do up to December 31st. And we're talking less.
Just not too low.
Absolutely, we at the village said the same thing, absolutely. And what I'm saying is, it's not even 2 full quarters for any of them. If you look at their regular, it's not even 2 full quarters that they're looking, so you wouldn't put them in even if it was, you know.
So I know this is so. We were brought one at a time.
I wouldn't.
So John Mayhew would be the trailer on 101, not the double wide on
Don't have to pay your money back.
Ask Leo, he never got his back
It's,
from town.
for Sandy.
I'm pretty sure he said he never got it back.
I'm not sure what Bill
So
was
where's
saying.
that extra money go?
That might be their way of getting rid of it and not having the state attach it. She was in a nursing home and then passed away, and I don't know the family circumstances, but, that, I think we.
So we put Curly on one side.
Exactly, and if he's, and that's what we've done before, if he has some that, you know, we kind of we wonder, he'll come back and say you can't, and that's good, you know.
So we talk to Ethan. Can you tell him?
All I talked to Ethan about was the fact that it's not closing until September, and he did not say anything, so at the sale, it would be paid. He does have a buyer, Ken Griswold, that passed away on that land going on Searles Road. The son that got the land, it's continuous with Ethan's house, and he's buying that, instead of building a new house there. But it's delayed to September, so, but the sale will happen before the tax sale.
Yeah, so we should put the law, I guess.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, no, that's
A lot
right.
can happen at a closing, or
Yeah.
up to a closing.
And a lot of people that were gonna sell their house paid for their taxes first, you know what I mean, when they would do. It's not like it's just a couple, you know. The only other one is, and the Riley Tatro property has been sold. It was sold. It was sold. It was sold on March 16th. The attorney failed to get the tax figure. It was an attorney error, and the 2 attorneys are going to bat. And Riley Tatro called me last week and said he would be in to pay it. Don Mitchell didn't know that taxes and things weren't paid. at
So
the
if it was
close.
sold to somebody.
They would be responsible for them if they're not paid. So that's your call.
Do you think he's coming in?
Do I think he did call me and say he was coming in? But to be honest with you, he called me in December and said, I'll be in tomorrow. before he sold it too. So, I mean, what do we do? Is that a question for Bill?
Yeah, I think we go to tax settlement, let the attorneys fight it out, because it's.
Are we talking delinquent tax? Is that what you're talking about right now
Yeah.
on that one property that she just mentioned, Riley?
Yes.
Now, last December, he said he'd be in to pay it and he never came back in. It's delinquent taxes, correct?
Yes.
And the property has supposedly already been sold, you're saying?
It has been.
So the bill goes to the former landowner, and I can only imagine what an attorney's going to tell you, but
So what do we find out?
We'll just do one.
Even the late fees on the first
I don't,
one?
I don't
I mean,
understand.
that's the
No,
one
because
there
it's
is.
sold.
Huh?
It's not enough here, it's not.
Okay, the only other one is, and I cannot get in touch with him, Robert and Clark Graham have real estate on East Hill, and they have sent me 2 letters. I have sent them monthly late fees. They claim that their bank, they ordered an e-check and it never got received. I have sent them back a letter, 2 letters saying, we haven't got it, please call me so we can talk. I don't have a phone number to get in touch with them. I mean, it's not like they can't afford it, but I don't know.
I don't understand.
Ethan's always late.
No, but I mean, I don't understand. If he's buying something, I
Well,
thought
no,
He's
he's
selling,
selling.
he's selling his
Oh,
house.
oh, he's selling.
Yes.
Pay it when it's sold.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. And this, Graham, I mean, if it means Bill getting in touch with them and Bill can explain to Grahams that it
I'd like
didn't
to
get
do that.
paid, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I tried today on White Pages to get a
No,
number
that's-
and it rang and, you know, like.
Carrie, did he give you an E account number that he said he mailed it from? Because if you have an E account, you can inquire through.
No, he didn't, no,
It's not here, it's not here. It's not
no.
Exactly it. Saying is checks in the mail.
Yes, right,
We're not gonna.
no, no, that's right.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
They all gone unless,
So, it's- okay. And then-
Is there a motion being made?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to send everything to tax settlement list except for Dan Road.
Except for
All in
what?
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Except for what?
Except for Dan DeRosa, who's just the late fees, which is $66.
Why, because is it selling his or?
No, just because of, it's just late fees and it's only $66.
and we'll try to collect it instead of
Spending the lawyer's money.
spending a lot of money trying to get.
Right.
The next one was the minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna do all that.
What could be used?
Me too.
Should I have listed all those present or
And
no?
then what's the next one after that?
For the order,
They're all
that's
here.
my
Should I-
question.
did I-
Oh.
And then the other
List them.
pictures
I
be you,
just
I
wondered.
guess. So,
Wondered if I do.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it because that part,
mean, they were here, secret, they were here for the meeting, right? I mean, they were, even though it's executive session,
Yeah, no, I don't think-
they were here for
I
the
don't think,
meeting. You don't think we have to list them?
I wasn't waiting.
It wasn't,
There was an error.
so should I remove that? Or you can-
I didn't hear you.
The boys.
I think, but no. These what, Tuesday? I saw Frank on Sunday, Saturday.
They're on there, he's got them on
It
there.
wasn't a.
Saturday, I saw Frank, and then he had back for all for this one.
No, you don't, that's right, you do that
So I
in executive session,
think-
so I just take
It
them off,
wasn't a
yeah,
covered
just take them off, right?
But do we need it? Okay. I mean, I don't know what's best.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Again, I'm sorry, could you please speak up? I can't hear you.
We're just discussing what to include in one of the minutes here. No, no, no.
But then I gotta change it.
So also, the minutes for Wednesday, the lady.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then we're also going to approve the minutes from the July 13th meeting. Make that motion.
All in favor?
For 2 seconds while you guys are doing that, this is the fire department from last year. I'm gonna send that to, is it still Randy Lucky's wife that has that? Pays the bills. Who pays the bills? Is it still Cindy? I'm gonna send that directly, so it's done this year. Give them the guys a big.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yes, yeah, from
Yeah,
the,
it's gonna happen every year.
that's gonna happen every year, that's right, because we're paying the net metering for the fire department. So at the end of the year, the fire department pays us back for it, for the savings in the
Yeah,
shop.
and the rest of it.
That's right.
They gonna clean up.
Yes, we did. I called today and got it from there. So we received a check from the LCT for $10,955.20. We had $1,000 deductible for it. And that is that. That comes out of here. That was fixing that truck. Yeah. We hadn't paid for it. They hadn't billed us until now because it was just in May that he took the truck down to finish fixing it because he didn't want it out all winter long, remember?
Yeah.
It started, yes.
Good for you. What are you gonna do with it? We're putting it out upstairs, up there, reorganizing the whole thing, and we're gonna try to get all this stuff out.
Wow. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
A lot.
so good for you.
Yeah, that's
I don't know,
awesome.
he sounded like he was gonna try to do it.
Good. Did I bring up the price of the new meter, if we went with the new water metering, their new handheld and all that stuff at the last meeting? Did I have
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, like talking about.
Yeah, and so, in talking with Steve about it, we're just gonna hang on till guys are really low, slow down
Yeah.
and not do that.
Well,
Me too, that sounds like.
In fact, when it does, I'm not so sure we won't do what the village is doing and just hand do for the
Yeah,
price,
no,
doesn't it make sense?
yeah.
Especially as
We'd
often
almost
as it
hire a
needs it.
kid to do it. You know,
Yeah.
no, really.
That is true, that is very
At least the
true.
money would be here, not paying it off, or
Right,
whatever it is.
yeah, that is not the town's, that's, Steve called me.
It's just a right of way down through there.
But it's, according to Steve, it is actually, what's his name?
Bush?
Butch. It's actually Butch's line that he's responsible for, according to Steve. And
Okay.
Butch paid for it. Yeah,
Great.
it happened before in Butch Page, just as he was buying the place.
Great.
And Jeff was there within 5 minutes, had it fixed in 20, and they were all done.
I'm not gonna ask anymore.
Yeah, no, Butch was very,
The Butch paid it.
yeah, and Butch was happy. He was in the
Yeah.
other day and said it worked perfect. Steve got him at a good time, and he was able to get Jeff get done working for Jay, and he ran right down with his whatever and fixed it. Yeah, he was happy. So, the program that we've had, that we got set up with WebEx for online, changed as of July 1st. We
Yeah.
no longer can call in. We can't call in. You have to remotely. That's why it looked funky when we saw
Okay.
that yesterday.
Yeah.
Here are our options and the price. You can either pay monthly or yearly. It's $13.50 a month to be able to call in.
Mm-hmm.
Is it important? Maybe, you know.
Yeah.
I think so too. But
Yeah,
do we go monthly and hope it ends before a year, or do we just pay it by the year and save money? It's cheaper than $13.50 a month if you buy it by the year, and I don't know how much that is because I didn't click for it. I just took a screenshot of that because I couldn't print it. I took a picture with a screen. Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah,
Well, it came out
I've
really
done that
good.
before.
Can you see it? You can see it really good. I did a good job.
We were gonna do.
It worked. We don't need the fancier one by any means, but it is handy to be able to call in, and that, the free one stopped.
Experts are saying it ain't going over, so.
Right.
It's cheaper.
I mean, you're talking
Yeah.
maybe $150. Okay. Mhm. It was the worst card ever. So it came from the Secretary of State's office. It didn't come from me. It's a complete nightmare. They went through Route 100. So Route 100, everybody has a Newport address, right? Because Troy doesn't deliver mail, right? They automatically, they made the correction and made it Troy. So all those came back. They went in and the Secretary of State's office went through 2 updated databases and tried to come up with the best known new address for everybody electronically, and then shipped them out. It's not been good. But we're gonna be ready for November. That's a good thing. Yeah. You can come in and vote, and nowhere does it say, feel free to come in and vote the day of or before,
If you wanna
anytime.
do absentee, what do we do?
Mail your card back or come in and say, I wanna vote. Or take them home or call us and we'll mail them to you.
Okay.
Yep.
This is about the voter mail-in ballots, that little
Yes.
card that got sent out.
Cards.
Julie got one, but I did.
Really?
Yeah, and neighbors all got theirs, each independent,
Yeah,
husband,
probably wrong
wives,
address,
independently.
right.
I remember the one year I wasn't on the list, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Was that error ever corrected? Because I know every time I come in, everybody recognizes me and says, go on in, and whether I check the list or
Oh,
not,
they're
I'm not
on
sure.
the list, absolutely.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it had something to do with that, and that's why I didn't get my own card or not.
Did you have a mailbox at one point and now don't? That could have done it?
No,
No?
well, 10 years ago,
so.
15 years ago, when I first
Right.
came, I had the P.O. box, but then,
Then now you're there, that's probably why. It probably got sent back.
all right,
Yeah,
thank you, Chair.
okay. I don't know if I discussed this with you, I think I may have. The people that own Betty and Cam Brown's house now, you know where Betty and Cam Brown used to be on River Road? Where,
Oh, up on the dead end up there?
Yeah. So it's Brown Road.
Yeah.
They are interested in having the name changed. The guy that owns it now would like to change it to something in their name. So I reached out to my 911 guy. He does not recommend it. He said typically we recommend towns to never change names on roads.
I can
How,
figure that.
and it makes sense,
Mhm.
like everybody, it is a different situation because it's a long road and there's 2 houses and a barn on it and they own it all. It's not like halfway up, it becomes somebody else's, they own all the land around it. But he did say that it should be a select board approval to change it, so I just wanted to do it right.
What do you recommend we do?
I
'Cause everybody
recommend
knows where it is.
it would be a
If
nightmare.
it's a town road.
You know, because
Town
then.
Town road, it's up to us.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it's a town road, so if you don't wanna change it, it does not have to be
No,
changed,
just
they
keep the
recommend it.
911 Keep the 911.
Okay. I'll let him know tomorrow, I just wanted to do it official and have it in the minutes.
On the Ledro Road.
Yeah,
Gonzalez family,
Mhm.
Segreto.
Segreto.
Is there a 911 address
to their house.
to their house? Everybody in the world is asking me.
190, is it?
I've never seen a number anywhere on the mailbox or on the house or anywhere on the property or.
They got a driveway, right?
Yep. They have a driveway, but it's, the house is only 20 feet from the town road.
Dana Gonzalez Segreto,
Yep.
109 Boudreaux Road.
Thank you.
Yep.
People say, well, where is it? You know, but
The only one.
I know, but everybody's gotta have a number.
The grant money from, the, Wild and Scenic Committee from the $5,000 grant that we applied for, we got half of it, we've got it in mail, half of it, and on completion, we'll get the other half, and it's already been completed, that's what Bobby's been working on, so we'll be getting that soon. Our new tax maps that look so good and we love so much, the guys sold to the guy we just got rid of last year.
They're going, huh?
And it should be fun, because tomorrow at 11, I'm meeting the guy we got rid of last year. He's coming in to hopefully tell me that nothing is changing with these new maps, because supposedly Russell Graphics is supposed to train this company to give us the same product as he's sold to us. So we'll wait and see what he says, but it's like, are you kidding me? So he'll be here tomorrow at 11 to see me. This is the education rates for this year. Residential, I'll give you. Put 'em down, just a bit. This is what it was. So I think ours went down and yours went up 2 cents. The non-residential went up 2 cents.
Changes in the merch plan, I think, $2 million, but it's not a whole lot.
No. This here is the water application for Karen, yeah. And just if you keep it all together, she wrote one check, so I'm kind of just leaving it for next week's meeting with the sewer, and then I'll put it all together, apply it to the right accounts. Yes.
And that's why it's on
Yeah. So next week will be good. And all that, that's all I have.
Any other business?
I have a question for the board. If there's not an, I don't see an area here for public comment or concerns. Is that something not for an open meeting?
No, we can do it on any other business.
Under other business?
Yep.
Okay, because I know Vera had concerns she wanted to stress. I've wanted to come and address this board for a while now. I had an incident that occurred with the quasi-judicial board that you folk represent for the zoning that you appoint. I was assaulted out here on the steps for simply carrying this camera and asking questions that the chairman of that board couldn't answer. Grabbed me by the throat. After that, I had attended another meeting previously where I asked what their mission statement was, because the meeting was being held totally out of order. A member of the board here was there and interrupted me when I had the floor. I demanded that the chairman take order at that point. My rights were violated and continued to be violated during that meeting. This board, now that I've attended one of the meetings, it's supposed to be an open meeting under public rule. There are, a law in the state of Vermont on how to hold these meetings. The LTC gives out a pamphlet, guidance for you to understand how to hold this and represent with the citizens and how we can communicate for a transparent government. I, as Kingdom Watchman in my production here of Kick the Can, have found many incidences with that zoning board that are not legal. And as the select board and Robert being on that board, I think it needs to be addressed by the select board and looked into under their rules and decorum and their conduct. I'm a citizen, I pay taxes, and when I address the board, I expect to have my rights followed. I don't look to sue, I don't look to get attorneys involved, I look to have people follow the law. I don't try and step outside of it. I appreciate your time. I'm going to start addressing this board on a regular basis, so I would appreciate on the warnings that there be a space for the public for concerns to address them other than other business, because your conduct under other business pretty much leaves it open for somebody to have to wait and not be known whether they're going to get addressed, because he was ready to make a motion to be adjourned. Unless I had spoken up, the board may have made a second and then I would have been out. So I'd err on the caution of getting the LTC to give you the rules under the law for an open meeting and conduct them as such. As far as the conduct of the zoning board, that quasi-judicial board, it wasn't until I questioned that chairman that he actually did his research and found out what their job is and why and how they're supposed to conduct themselves. But that was well after they had opened this village, this town up for a lawsuit again from me for assaulting me and violating my rights. Transparent government, we the people. The town, we pay the taxes to this town, we the people. You represent us, and this forum is so that you can represent us and do our business in open and transparency. I appreciate your time and giving me this time to address the board. Thank you.
Now I have some concerns. I applied for a permit last July with documents, notarized and signed documents. Now those documents have disappeared from this office. Those are legal documents that I applied to with my permit. Those documents are gone. That is illegal. Those documents should have never left this office. Now Terry told me today those documents went to your house. That is illegal for those documents to leave this building.
Which documents are you referring to there?
Terry?
What she
He
asked
asked
me
you.
for.
Yeah,
because
what
of-
documents are you referring to?
The documents that I attached to this permit concerning my parking with Mr. Lamas. Those are notarized legal documents. No documents should leave this building.
As I explained to you to that meeting though, that's not what the board needed.
No, what you explained, when I applied for that permit, I attached legal documents with that permit. Those legal documents was a lifetime lease for
So,
parking for the B and D
right,
for
so
3 parking
those
spots.
wouldn't carry any weight with the parking issue once that's resolved. Because what's necessary is for the parking to be attached by deed
Okay,
to the building, so it would have to be a legal deed that would basically go on in perpetuity to
Okay.
maintain the permit, once the rules for that have been established.
okay. You said it had to go before a lawyer.
Yes.
I waited for 2 months to hear back from that lawyer, and you all told me that lawyer hasn't gotten back to you guys yet. 2 months, Bill didn't give you no answer on whether that was legal. Now, when I first applied 10 years ago, and I've applied for 15 permits, first time I applied, you said I could rent, lease, or buy property to have parking for off-street. Okay, I did, one of, yeah, I know clearly. One of the permits I applied for was to have parking inside my building. I was denied parking because it didn't follow the rule of parking 20 feet from this side of the building, 20 feet from this side of this property's man, 20 feet from the back, or 30 feet from the front. What would that matter if I was parking inside my building? Wait just a minute. So, I was able to get parking behind the B&D restaurant, a lifetime lease, whether I owned the bank building or anybody else owned that bank building. You said it had to go before the lawyer. I waited for 2 months for the lawyer to get back with you. Still hadn't heard nothing. Then when you did hear something, oh, well, we have to have a big meeting on it. Never heard nothing again. When I come back from Texas in April, oh, it has to go back to the lawyer, because we haven't decided what not parking on your property means. Well, in your bylaws, it doesn't say you have to be on your property. You said originally, and have said all along in all the letters, that I could lease, rent, or buy property to park on.
Okay, well, I'll have
Now,
to disagree with you there, Vera, because
since
that's not the
April,
case.
yes.
Excuse me, that's
Wait a
not the
minute, I'm not
case.
finished, I'm not finished.
Okay.
So since April, I come back up here and I ask Terry, have you heard from the lawyer? Yes. Well, can we go before the board again? Well, they don't want to because of this covert stuff. I'll ask Robert. She asked Robert, what does Robert say? I'm gonna mail you a letter. Well, I've been waiting now for a letter since April. Why can't I get a decision? I'm a taxpayer. Why can't you give me a letter? Why can't you give me a decision? Why?
So I've put together a letter, I've put together a proposal, I'm waiting for there to be a quorum of the planning board together,
And-
because we haven't met because of the situation, and that's what I'm waiting for.
And how much longer am I gonna have to wait?
Probably not too long, probably a few weeks.
When was the last time the zoning board met?
I don't even remember.
I mean, they haven't met this year at all?
What has the
August
lawyer said?
5th,
Why haven't you
6
sent me a letter on what the lawyer has said?
August 5th.
Of last
Because
year?
I have to, because because the lawyer didn't give us direction, okay? He gave us his opinion, and from that opinion, I have drafted a letter with a proposal that has to be approved by the planning board, because I can't just mail it out. So I'm just waiting for a quorum of the planning board to assemble so they can approve my letter, so I can mail it to you.
Wow. And you
Okay.
couldn't send me a letter saying that. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. You couldn't have just sent me a letter and say, hey, Vera,
He just answered
You-
your
you
question.
know,
just
hey,
answer your
Vera, I've been
question.
waiting since April. Hey, Vera, I've got to get drafted up.
Have
Going
my
before the
number,
board.
don't you? You can call me.
I call you all the time. How many times have I called you? I yelled out the window, hey, Robert, have you got the letter ready yet? You could have told me, you know, Vera, we have to go before the board, you know? You could have just told me that, simple.
I've told you now.
Yeah, finally. I have the parking
Is-
spots. 3 lifetime leased parking spots.
As I told you
Notarized.
before, it has to be deeded to the property if the
No.
planning board accepts my letter. You can't say no.
You told me
If you
lease,
disagree with me,
rented,
no. If you
lease,
disagree with the letter that is
rented.
presented to you, you can take the decision to court. However, you wait till you get the letter, and then you can do it. You can argue with me till we're both blue in the face
I've got it
about
on
what's been said in
video.
the past.
Lease,
I don't care
rented,
if you have it on video.
or bought.
That's the situation, so
Lease, rented, or bought is what you've told me for 10 years. You just change the laws as you go.
that may be your opinion.
Yeah, well, you have your lawyer show me somewhere in your zoning bylaws the off-street parking. You can't. You can't show me nowhere it says in your off-street parking bylaws that it has to be deeded to that property. It doesn't. You haven't been able to in 10 years.
Okay,
10 years. You haven't been able to come up with it. 10 years.
okay,
Okay. Because you still can't.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that's enough.
If you still
That's
can't.
enough.
Again, for clarification, the quasi judicial zoning board hasn't met since August of last year.
Now,
That's not what I said.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you
August 5th
again.
is the next meeting
Of this year.
of
And
this
I'm
year.
not
Okay.
moving.
How often are they scheduled to meet?
As needed.
As needed, we meet as needed.
Okay, I'm confused. This woman's waiting all this time and you're not scheduling a meeting which is needed? Is that what you just said?
No. No, they're not scheduling a meeting because I've asked for one since last April.
Okay, did you not just say you
We
schedule meetings as
schedule-
needed?
yeah, basically what we do is we schedule a meeting when a permit comes before the.
He scheduled a meeting for his permits.
Okay, so you're in the process of a permit right now with her and an
Yeah.
issue she had.
No, we're
This
not
isn't
in
an
the
ongoing
process.
permit issue
Yes.
No, we're
for
not in the
housing
process.
and parking?
It was
do
denied,
not-
so technically,
You're under an appeal process with the quasi judicial, are you not?
No, we are not under appeal process.
So what are you dealing with then if you have no agenda with her?
She's asked us for some information.
Oh, no. We've been waiting on this since July. Because it says right here in your meeting,
I've
you have
attended,
to bring
I'm
it
sorry.
before the
I'm sorry,
lawyer.
Vera, but Ray is asking a question about the legal documents before the board.
I mean,
And I'm clarifying that.
I'm trying to understand, if there's an issue that the board's supposed to be dealing with, and you're not scheduling a meeting, I'm trying to understand. You made a statement that you schedule as needed. The
We
board meets as
schedule-
needed.
That was a misstatement. We schedule a meeting when a permit.
I'm sorry, you're speaking over Robert.
We schedule a meeting when a permit comes, which the board needs to review.
Well, I can put another permit in because I got it free when it's right here in writing.
There you go.
It was supposed to been when you heard from the lawyer.
In any case, so no, we do not have a permit.
I'll put another permit in tomorrow then.
Okay.
I asked for a meeting and she said that you said no, you would send me a letter on it. Because you heard back from the lawyer.
I mean, at several
That's what
meetings,
we're
this
waiting
issue was
for.
addressed that I've attended.
Yeah.
And it's been an ongoing issue, and you've
Yeah.
adjourned from one meeting to the next, and if I recall, the last meeting I attended, you postponed an answer, which adjourned a
To
meeting,
the
I
lawyer.
believe it was denied.
which means that it was,
No, it was
The
denied.
permit
It
was denied.
The permit
And
was
she was
denied.
told she could do another
Yeah.
permit.
now, permits cost money, correct?
Yes.
And the zoning board issued permits recently, did they not? This year?
Yeah, Robert got one for the
I may
building.
have.
You
Yeah.
issued as a zoning board, you did?
No, as the administrator. As the administrator, I just.
Okay, so no quorum was needed to approve work that you do as the zoning
No, if it's
administrator?
permitted use, I can do it.
Okay. Thank you.
No, that permit was held until the lawyer got back to us.
Okay, so I think that you have an issue with the zoning board.
I do, definitely.
And
He
if
won't give
you-
me an
if you-
answer.
Would you give me a chance to say?
Yeah,
If you want to reapply and go to address the zoning board and pursue this, it's up to you to pursue it.
yeah,
So,
I get a free one.
we heard you. I don't really need to hear it 5 more times, the same thing, so. Is that what you had? Your concern is,
My concern is getting an answer from him for my last permit, which he said he'd
he already
give me
explained it to you,
after-
address that.
the lawyer. After my permit and his questions was answered through the lawyer.
My recall was during a meeting, it was stated that if she needed to apply for a new permit, after they heard from the attorney,
Right,
that they would waive the fee for the new permit.
and I'm waiting
So
for
Robert
the
has
answer.
heard from the attorney, the board has not adjourned to give her a response. He's withheld a letter apparently to let her know where things are. He's now stated he'll issue a letter and the board's gonna adjourn when they're convenient. If she files a permit on the same issue again, with a waived fee, is that what I understand you're telling her to do?
I'm just
Is that
waiting
what-
for the
I'm-
answer.
No, I'm not telling her to do anything.
Well, you're requiring her to re-permit to address the board over an old issue that was denied, but you've also stated that when she did so, you would waive that fee.
Yes,
Okay.
the reason that we waived the fee.
You were waiting for the attorney.
Was once the board came back with a decision after hearing from the attorney,
We never have got the decision.
yes, then you would be in a position where if you felt that was favorable, you could reapply.
But I
And
never
there
could get
wouldn't
an
be-
answer.
Right.
And I never have got an answer in almost a year. It's been a year.
Thank you for clarifying that.
It's been a year.
I was confused and I'd wondered why we're this far into this long.
Because I can't
Thank
get an
you for
answer.
clarifying.
Okay.
Okay?
Now, I have one other question to ask. I noticed on the old minutes that there's a piece in here about the lease of a truck for $208,000 that was approved during a vote by the select board. Do we, as voters in the town, do not do loans for vehicles?
Leases.
No.
Even though that comes out of us as a taxpayer and you're asking for $22,000 to increase the budget by? And that's in the charter giving you authorization from the town
Yeah.
to do that
Yeah,
under a
it's not
lease?
bond. If we do a bond, it goes before the voters. A bond.
But that's still a tax increase. So if you went out and bought an entire fleet of $300,000 or $500,000 or $750,000 worth of trucks, we as taxpayers would see an increase without a vote to it. Isn't that rather alarming to you? Because this is, however small, it's a percentage of an increase to our taxes without a
you
voter
voted
approval.
So basically, the vote will come up at town meeting day.
It'll be
But
a
you've already
budgeted
approved the
item.
loan and it's already
We've
being
approved
processed.
a lease.
Yeah, but,
Lease.
We've approved a lease.
okay.
And so, at town meeting day, the budget with that lease payment in it will come before you.
With a notice that that part is for the purchase of a new vehicle that we're leasing, correct?
Yep,
Without a
It'll be in the
distinguished to it?
yeah, it'll be in the budget.
Because it just seems a little odd that we get no real vote before you go and spend that money. Because if we vote it down, you're gonna have to cut the budget by $208,000 to cover that loan.
No.
How do you
no,
figure
Because
it?
it's not a loan, it's a lease.
Right, you're gonna have to make the lease payment even if we turn it down at that point.
Well, it's not 208 a year, it's 208 total, number one.
It's $25,618 a year.
Right, and so
Right.
we haven't
Over
paid
5
that.
years.
We haven't made that payment until it's approved at town meeting day.
And we don't know when that is.
What's that?
We don't know when that's gonna occur, because we haven't had
If
town,
it's not
We've had
approved,
town.
We've had town meeting,
right, oh,
yes, we've had town meeting. Okay, right. So we've had town meeting,
and this was approved at town meeting then?
no, because that happened after town meeting. So basically, the next town meeting in 2021, that lease payment will be in the budget and if the budget is approved, then we'll have the money for the lease payment. If the budget is not approved, we will not have it.
But we'll have the product still. We'll have to make that
No,
lease.
if we don't make the lease payment, they'll come take it away.
I get that. So you're making semantics, Bob. Don't,
No, no, no.
let's not be silly about
No, no, no,
this.
no, I'm not. I mean,
Let's-
basically, that's not.
Do we have the truck now?
No.
Let me clear
When
it
are
up.
we getting the
Hey,
truck?
could you calm down for a second? Let me clear it up for you. Let me say something.
I'm not excited. I'm speaking so that I can be
Could you
here.
stop speaking for a second?
Are you the chairman of the floor? I was recognized, sir. This is my point. This is a clear violation of me having the floor and me being in control
Bob,
and
I have
you
the floor.
overseeing it now. So you're interrupting me. No, let's wait. I have free speech here and an open meeting, sir. I don't even know.
Okay.
Speak, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. If you have something to clarify, Gary, go ahead and clarify.
So you're stopping me from having my floor time right now and letting this man interrupt me when I'm in my chain of thought. Speak, sir. You took control, violated my rights. This is the point I'm getting at. Wow, nothing with your back to me, sir. Please turn where I can hear you and I can see your eyes and your face as a taxpayer who represents this place.
I'm going to the bathroom.
Then excuse yourself, sir. Absolutely, it'd be great if you'd excuse yourself and not be rude to me.
Okay.
And your name is? Because you didn't identify yourself. This is what taxpayers expect from you people? This is transparency? This is the rules under the law of open meetings? It is not. And this is the same problem I had with that other board. You don't take control of the board just simply because you want to change my process.
He's in charge of the
He
board.
is in charge of the
You are
board.
controlling the board right now. Ray.
Because I was given
No.
control of the floor by the
You are-
chairman who addressed me.
Okay.
Now he took my train of thought when he interrupted me.
And so did, yeah.
Yeah. So the
So if I
citizens
took
don't
it
have
away,
free
how come you're
speech.
not sitting down and listening to Gary?
I don't,
How
because
come
you
you're
took
saying
control
Mark has
from
to
me
identify
when
himself
you
to me?
identified, you want to hear me or not? You want to continue to speak over me just like he did when I had the board? When I had control and was recognized by the chairman? There are rules to this. I followed them. You guys don't. That's what the lawsuits are going to end up being about. I have seen this board act this way over and over, Bob. Look it up. Get the open meetings rules. Follow them. You don't stand up and walk out of a quorum and ignore the public and then expect them to not acknowledge you. That's rude. Now I've lost my total train of thought in how I was asking a question
Yeah, me too.
because he wanted to be rude and interrupt because you as the chairman don't control this. You recognized me and then you let him interrupt. Just like in that quasi-judicial, you interrupt when the chair recognized me. I release the floor to this board that does not follow public record and meetings rules. By law. Speak, Mr. Sandsville, if you've got something you want to tell me now or have the chairman recognize you.
I got a question.
You're talking to me.
No, I'm talking to him.
I went to
The
the
one
bathroom.
that
I just
ran
came
his
from-
mouth.
I just came from work, 70 miles to get here, late,
Fantastic.
and I had to go to the bathroom.
Fantastic.
And I sat here this whole time listening to you,
Are you
and I gotta go to the bathroom.
Fantastic. Thank you for excusing yourself and interrupting me while I had the floor again.
Okay, I got a question. Anybody on the fire department here?
No.
Okay. When I talk to my insurance company, I don't know if you guys do it here in the fire departments, but he said every home or commercial building has a clause in it, say if my house burns. Every home has a clause in it that if my house burns, you guys are welcome to put a claim against my house to collect $1,000. If you're not doing that, please do that. Talk to your fire halls because you're allowed to do it. Every homeowner's policy has a clause in there for fire services.
I know big cities do that.
No, they do it right here. I looked at my policy. I looked at my policy. I have a clause in there for fire services. And if my house was to burn, all you have to do is turn a bill into my insurance company, and my insurance company will pay you $1,000 for coming out and putting that fire out. Look into it. I'm telling you, it'll help your fire departments. It's there. Whether it's commercial, residential, it's on all my policies. I looked at all of them. I called my insurance adjuster. Every insurance policy, homeowners, commercial, whatever, has a clause in there for you guys.
For the fire department.
For the fire departments.
We're not
We don't
fire
have a fire
department.
department. but-
Look into it. It's there for you guys. You can make a claim against every fire you go to. It's in the policies. It's there, Robert.
Well, we can let the fire department know.
Let them know.
Yeah.
Let them know, and it'll help with the property taxpayers of these towns.
The highway commissioner that was here, Bobby Jakes, is the fire chief. The gentleman that was here earlier, that would be the person to speak to about it.
Let them know. You
They're
can
a
put a
separate
claim
entity.
against everybody's policy. It doesn't hurt their policies. A fire is an accident. All you have to do is submit a bill for fire services rendered, and it'll pay. Some are 500, some are 1,000, he said, some are 2,500.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know to help the town here.
Yeah, we heard you.
And it'll help the tax
Base.
people of our town, and it'll help the fire departments and the equipment that they need to buy. That's a plus.
That's a plus.
But I looked at my policy, I couldn't believe it, it's there.
I'd like to thank the board for its time. I'm sorry if this seemed a little hostile, but you know, there are open meeting rules. It's a law. When the chairman recognizes somebody on the floor, you have to be recognized by the chairman before you interrupt. That's a simple rule. I thank you for your time.
Motion adjourned.
I knew we adjourned this meeting.
I need a beer,
Clear.
maybe a little liquor.
Okay.
Help with that stuff, Gary?
Yeah.
Watch out for that picture.
Get right out of your way, gentlemen. Sorry. Here you go.
Good night, Mark.
So you said that this is. So this is an old one
No, that's an old one, that's 2015. Like I say, the only extra mileage in it is point whatever, which was Autumn Ridge from 2009. When was it? I know it's 215 when they had it, that's the only change from 18.
Have a good week, everybody. Take care.
Keep coming.
And this is Kingdom Watchman. This has been another production of Kick the Can Production. You see, open meeting laws do not apply here in North Troy. The tyrants take control and they don't want to be responsible. They get confused in what they say. I'm sorry if it seemed a little heated in there, but my representation does not get stomped on. I thank you again. This is Kickstand Production. There are no rights. Share, share, share. Hit that like button and leave a comment. Thank you again.